Good morning. Welcome to Christmas Eve. How's everybody going? I got a couple of things I want to talk about right away. The one that I think is probably the most important is that Trump wants to take over Greenland and Canada. Now, as well as the Panama Canal. Now, that's very adventuresome. I could see Russia and Denmark and a whole bunch of other countries out there getting really, really upset if he tries to take either one of those two countries. You know, I could see Russia trying to get Alaska back. This is just everybody's going to grab land. It's not going to work out, okay? Canadians would mount an invasion of the United States if he tried to do that. They're not real fond of us or our government or whatever, They're not about to do that. But Trump has delusions of grandeur again, He thinks he's king, and that's because he's faced his partner wants to be emperor of the world, and Trump doesn't want that to happen. So I don't know what's going to happen there, We'll wait and see. We'll have to wait and see what happens, and I don't think it's going to happen. I think it's just more of his bullshit to hide what's going on in the country, Okay, since I'm not going to put up anything tomorrow, first of all, listen, I know you don't like me, but if you like the videos, do me a favor, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Like I said, I don't make any money out of this. I think I need like 100,000 people or something before I can make any money. I don't know what it is, but that's not what I'm looking for. I'm looking for recognition. I'm looking for a little respect from YouTube and see what happens after that, okay? So if you have the mind to, hit the subscribe button. That'd be my Christmas present from you. And the like button if you like, okay? All right, now, I'm not going to be here tomorrow. I'm not going to do it. First of all, they do big fireworks things tonight, and I'll be up all night with a party and everybody else partying, and I'm not a party person on Christmas Eve, all right? My family goes to a farm and parties. I stay home. I have to protect Lucy because Lucy does not like fireworks this year. She didn't mind them last year. This year she's petrified of them, so I don't know what happened to her during the course of the year, but I'm going to be here with her. Just me and her alone, having a hot dog or something, We'll see what we can see from the windows, and that's it. Now, I want to talk about Christmas. I'm 79 years old, so you obviously realize remember what they called old-fashioned Christmases. I'll describe my Christmases to you, okay? About 10 days to 2 weeks before Christmas, my father would go out and we'd get the tree, we'd put it in the living room, and the living room would get sealed off. Or the dining room, whichever, depending on where we were living at the time. But the room would be sealed off with brown paper covering the doorways and everything, and you couldn't get in, and I wasn't supposed to peek. And I don't think I ever really peeked. I was looking for presents, not the decorations. He would then build, depending on our money situation and his health situation and everything, he would build 1 to 2 platforms, 12 inches off the ground. What is a 2 by? It's 12 by 6, I think they were. So you would have like an L shape, 12 by 12 inches off the ground, covered with plywood, 1/4-inch plywood. He would then set up villages, trains, decorations, everything. All of this stuff, a lot of it was antiques, which I've lost due to people in my life that I didn't want there, and when they left, they took a lot of shit with them, or they threw it out because they didn't like it. Or it broke because of the grandkids and whatnot. So I don't have any of that left, really. But there'd be a couple sets of trains, Lionel trains running around them, the old steam locomotives, when my father died, I lost all those things because my stepbrother at the time, Jimmy, who was my father's son, was convinced that we owed him money, so he took everything of value out of the house. I never talked to him after that, but that's, he's passed away a year or two ago. He became involved in magic. He was always sort of an extrovert, mean guy. Had my father's temper, which, I felt bad for his wife. His wife was an adorable woman, Jane, and I'm sorry I didn't, maintain some sort of contact with her anyhow. Okay, well, one of my aunts did, who's also gone now, but that was it, and that went on for as long as my father was alive, and then I went out and I started doing the tradition a couple of years later, and I've had trains around the Christmas tree since for 80 years, 79 years, right, that I know about. I don't even have the film of it anymore. My stepbrother took all of that stuff, so I don't have any memories really of that stuff. But he, like I said, he had my father's temper, which wasn't a good thing. I inherited it too, but I've overcome most of it. I think that's why I have an ulcer. But that was Christmas. You didn't get to see the tree till Christmas Day, and then it was a family thing. Even though my father would be trashed, he would cook dinner, then he'd go to bed afterwards. But we would have turkeys and ham and tons of food, and it was a family dinner. Sometimes the aunts and uncles would show up on Christmas. Everybody went out and did the tour because we lived fairly close together, not hours away from each other back then, or countries away like we do now. And it was fun, and it was family. There wasn't a lot of drinking going on. One of the things that you realized back then was that Christmas is for kids. It's not for adults. Adults down here go out and get drunk. The kids don't. They celebrated Christmas Eve, and if you're lucky, the kids are awake Christmas Eve getting presents from their parents that are drunk out of their minds, or their grandparents. I don't like that. I enjoy what they call the old-fashioned Christmas. You went to bed, you woke up the next morning, and the presents were around the tree. One of the parents or whoever put the presents around the tree. And you sat around in your pajamas, and you opened up the presents, and then you had a big breakfast, or depending, sometimes we had to have breakfast first, because, but usually we had a big breakfast afterward, pancakes, French toast, eggs, bacon, ham, the whole 9 yards. The turkeys were already in the oven for that, if we were staying home. Sometimes we didn't stay home, but we were the visitors to other families, But that was it. New Year's Eve was the adult holiday, okay? Christmas was a children's holiday where the children were catered to. It was all about mystery and fun and games and everything, and the beauty of Christmas, especially if it snowed, A white Christmas was something everybody looked forward to if they could get it. We didn't get that many of them, but, And I kept that that kind of tradition of getting up early the next day, big train display around the tree and everything like that, My first wife fucked it up, but I managed to repair it in time. I've run as many as 3 sets of trains, what they call N gauge, HO, and the big G train. I took my trains out this year, my Lionel Christmas train out this year, set it in front of the tree, ran it around a few times, just so that to keep the tradition alive. Every year I run trains around the tree. My wife hates it. I wait till she leaves town. This is something I think that's missed, and it's getting worse now they're putting football on, I can tell you there are a lot of things. I'm not a big Beyonce fan, so I'm not going to watch it. I have the option. I subscribe to NFL Game Pass, so I'll watch the games on NFL Game Pass. I'm not going to watch them on Netflix, even though I have Netflix. I just don't like Beyonce, and I don't like the fact if I watch the games, I don't want to see football on Sunday. Except now, okay, I'm not here. I'm here alone, so okay, I'll watch football a little bit. You know, probably fall asleep during the game until midnight when not tonight, but tomorrow. It's just just ridiculous. You're taking away from Christmas. You're commercializing everything. It's like the expansion of baseball and the expansion of football into Europe and whatnot. I've seen all sports in the United States. Next year, is it next year or the year after, when the Women's World Cup comes out, you're going to have Netflix to see it in the United States. You'll probably see it for free every place else. I've watched major fights for free down here, not anymore, but I used to. Depends on what company you deal with. But they're making it impossible for the average individual to watch football, and it's cut. You have to wait till the Super Bowl comes out, and it's going to be a pay-per-view Super Bowl. When that happens, you won't see 250 or 500 million people watching it. Okay, it's only going to be those that can afford it will watch it. Baseball became that way. If you took 4 people and went to a baseball game, now I'm going back 10 years ago, 20 years ago, it would cost you over almost $200 to go to the game. Are you going to do that every week with your kids? No. When I was a kid, it wasn't cheap because we had to get to the game, and that cost money. But it was the game itself wasn't that expensive. Same thing with football. Football is like out of most people's reach. The average individual doesn't own a season ticket. You have to watch them on television, which actually isn't a bad thing, because depending on where you're sitting in the stadium, you might as well watch it on television. Unless you can look at your phone and watch it. So 80,000 people. You're not gonna, there's only about, I don't know how many go around the first 6 rows or something that go around the stadium, and then you're only worried. The only ones that really get to see it are either, well, sometimes the end zone's a good seat, depending on who's playing and all that. But and in your interest in football, if you want to just watch the ball or you want to understand the game, the intricacies of the game. But I think European announcers are horrible. They don't understand the game. Mexicans are the worst. They don't truly understand the game and how to announce the game. But like I said, you're going to see all sports go to basically pay-per-view. And then you got Christmas. I mean, when do you have Christmas dinner at the dining room table with your family? Halftime? That doesn't make any sense to me either. Again, it's the bullshit that goes on, it's all about money. And we're teaching the kids of the world, it's all about money. It probably always was, but it wasn't as big a thing as it is now, I think athletes, for the most part, especially baseball players, and are pretty overpaid, for what they do. I know people over the years that they that people would rather watch a bad game, than watch a billionaire play football. You know what I mean? And the way it's going, you're going to see it played by robots in the next 10 years. So corporations are going to own everything. They're ruining the spirit of Christmas. And I think that's a shame, because like I said, I've always believed, since I became an adult, when I was a teenager really, that Christmas was for kids. Yeah, I worked in the restaurant industry and I made a lot of money on Christmas Eve. But then I went home and went to bed and got up and went and visited my family the next day. I spent the day with my family. Was it, yeah, teenagers find that boring nowadays, but we did too. We'd spend the day with them and then go out Christmas night to a bar and meet all our friends there and everything like that. That was, yeah, we did that. But there's a family thing about Christmas now. My wife's family gets together and they get trashed, they party, they scream, they yell, they have a good time. That's fine. That's not what I enjoy about it. I would love to be able to have a nice Christmas dinner someplace, not sit on a couch in front of a TV watching football. At least down here they don't have TV dinners. You have to actually cook something. But I don't. I just think that the children lose their ability to be children at a too early an age now, and this world is so friggin' complicated and nasty that the longer they can stay kids, I think it's a better thing, before they have to deal with reality. And unfortunately, the internet, cell phones and whatnot bring reality to them way too soon. Anyhow, I'm not going to be here tomorrow. I'm not going to try to get up tomorrow morning and do this. I'll be lucky if I get up tomorrow morning to walk Lucy, because she's going to be up all night with me. She gets petrified of the fireworks. But anyhow, let me just say to all of you, have a very, very Merry Christmas. Be safe. Try to stay sober. Enjoy yourself. Enjoy your family. Enjoy whatever gifts you have, knowing that the biggest gift you have is your family. And I guess I'll see you on the 26th, okay? Everybody, Merry Christmas.